just play quarterback like a normal way. And I actually think that the Chiefs will be fine by the end of the year. They'll manage to figure all this stuff out that we're talking about, and they'll probably end up as, a 3 seed in the playoffs or something like that. I just think that he's too good to go the entire year committing all these turnovers and running these issues.
Well, I completely agree. It's kind of like Big Cat. He goes on these diets sometimes, but he's like his level of fat in his body is just too high for him to stay on it. Like it will never last. At some point, he's gonna Big Cat, and he's gonna continue to. Yep. I don't know whether it's the donuts or it's the double cheeseburgers or what it is, but he can go on a diet for 6 days. That 7th day, he's going to intake so many calories that his body is just going to start rejecting some of them.
Yes. Water always finds its level.
You know what it is?
There you go.
During a football season, when you played in the NFL, like your body gets banged up during the season. Guys go through injuries. You're hurt, not injured. During the football season, I am constantly, battling week to week, trying to make it through the weeks, and sometimes, it falls apart. I'm no different than a guy who has 2 Super Bowl rings. We're the same, Booger.
Oh, there's nothing about us except we both have 2 arms and 2 legs that's the same. Other than that, that is it, my friend.
No, we're the same.
Boog, I have a question for you because I got YouTube algorithm last week where they just force a video down my throat, and the one that popped up was the old Monday Night Football game of the Colts and the Bucks, the one where you were on the Bucks at the time, and the Colts got out to the Colts had a massive deficit in the fourth quarter. I think it was the biggest fourth quarter comeback in the history of Monday Night Football. And it went to overtime. They had that missed field goal followed up by the doink that went in with Vanderjagt. You were on that field goal block team when they called, was it Simeon Rice for leaping?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Do you remember going back and watching? Do you know what the refs called in that game? Is that an actual penalty to jump in the air?
No, I don't think the penalty, first of all, thanks for bringing that up. I somehow forgotten about
all-time
all that.
Bad defensive performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't quite go that far.
All-time choke job.
Yeah, okay. I can think of a couple more. Well, okay, I'm not even going to go there.
I've never choked that bad on Monday Night Football.
Okay, I get your point, all right?
Yep.
It's one of those calls, man, where I think when they called it in the moment, we were like, huh, what? Is that a penalty? And then when you go back and you open the rule book and you turn to page 179 and you look under -4, there it is. Like, it's one of those rules nobody ever knows, nobody ever looks up. And it's very similar to the double punt the other night. Remember, I forget what game that was. Was it Thursday Night Football where there was a double punt and nobody knew the rules?
Yep.
Very similar to that.
Yeah, it was just kind of an embarrassing moment for you personally, I would have to imagine.
Yes.
How much were you guys up by?
I think we were up 31. Maybe it was 30, 35 or 31. It was like 35-3, 31-3, something like that.
Wow. And you lost?
Well, Peyton Manning was on the other side.
Oh, okay. I want to ask you about the Washington football team's defense because we had Rex Ryan on a couple weeks ago, and he said that's his biggest disappointment of the season. It's my personal biggest disappointment because I was relying on that team to be able to, look like themselves from last year to a certain extent because they haven't really changed personnel. They haven't changed coordinators. They, in fact, added some guys on defense. But they suck. They're just really, really bad right now. From your perspective as a defensive guy, is it an effort thing or is it a scheme thing? How much hope should I have for this Washington football team defense?
I think it's a combination of two things. I don't think it's scheme because the same coordinator is still there. Jack Del Rio is still the defensive coordinator. So then I go to the next step. Could it be effort? Well, I see they're playing hard. Those guys are flying around. I just don't see the consistency of attention to detail. The things that make you great are often the little things. And last year, that defensive line was dominant. This year, it hasn't been. Last year, they were creating turnovers. This year, they're not. Last year, their secondary was pretty good. I think they added, is it Jackson, J.C. Jackson, maybe, the corner?
Yeah, they got the corner, and they got Landon Collins back, who is he was supposed to be good, but he's been pretty bad to the point where people are saying maybe he should just switch positions to linebacker, and that's never a good sign when people are like, your safety is so slow, but he could be a really good small linebacker.
Well, listen, that's kind of like Big Cat. If Big Cat were to play football, he would probably start out at fullback, and then they'd be like, you know what? This running thing is a little tough. Let's just move him to guard or center. Mm-hmm. So eventually that's where you get to. So again, you and I are very similar. We can morph into different positions, even though you may want to be a fullback. I think eventually you settle in at left guard, maybe a right guard, because left guard is more athletic. You be kind of a right guard.
This
That's
feels personal now, Booger.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's not.
You know,
personal.
it's projecting because Booger struggles with his weight, so he's projecting. I'll take it. I'll carry it for you.
I don't struggle with it. I just like to eat.